The other day, I was at a cafe having lunch and doing some work at the same time. And while I was sitting there, a mother with two young boys came into the cafe and they made their way to the table next to me and sat down. And it's quite a small cafe, so it was a little crowded, so I could actually hear everything that was going on and I could watch what was going on. And it was kind of funny because as soon as they sat down, one of the boys sat there nicely, did what he was supposed to do, didn't wiggle around, was just behaving. And the other little boy was off his chair underneath the table, looking up to see how the base of the table was connected to the tabletop. He was off onto the other side, sitting next to his mom, fiddling with her work laptop, which she had just pulled out to start doing some work emails on. And as the meal progressed, it was just fun to watch. The boys got milkshakes, the mom got some food. And then towards the end, one brother had finished his milkshake. And this was the one who was sort of fidgeting and moving around. And the other one still had half of his milkshake left. And all of a sudden he said to his mom that he needed to go to the loo. And the boys were still young enough that somebody needed to accompany him to the loo. And so his mom said, okay, I'll take you. And she said to the other boy, could you sit here and just, be here by yourself? Is that okay? And he said, yeah, sure, sure, sure. And so she and the other son went to the loo. And as soon as they had disappeared out of sight, the boy got off his chair, went around to the side of the table where his brother had been sitting, grabbed his milkshake and drank the rest of his milkshake, completely downed it, nothing left. And then he put it back on the table and looked around. And then he went over to where his mom had been sitting, sat down and started playing with her laptop. He punched a few keys and then he went back and sat down on his seat. And so when his mom and his brother came back, it looked like he hadn't done anything, but as soon as they spotted the table, they could see what he had done. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, oh my, this kid is going to get into so much trouble. He's been naughty. He's done exactly what he shouldn't have done. They're going to tell him off. There's going to be a scene. What's the mom going to do? And to my surprise, as soon as they saw that the milkshake was gone, the mom and the brother both broke into broad smiles and they laughed. When the mom saw that the laptop had been fiddled with, she didn't smile and she didn't laugh, but she very gently told him off and explained why he shouldn't be touching her laptop, and didn't make a big deal out of it, but just explained why and what the boundaries were again. And then they gathered up their things and they left. And I was just sitting there thinking, oh my, isn't that exactly like what we can be like with customers sometimes? We think we understand their situation and we think we know what they're going through. We think we know how they're going to react. And we don't have a clue. We really don't understand at all what's going on with them and with their businesses. And so just like I wrongly assumed that the boy was in trouble, the one who drank the milkshake, if you don't know who your customers are, the results of your marketing efforts are going to be like throwing money into a black hole. Your customers very likely won't recognize that you can help them because they're not going to recognize themselves and their thoughts in your marketing content. And anything that does attract them is likely to be there purely by accident. So avatar clarity is super, super important.